Thank you everyone for coming to join the Shloshim for Bobby. Before I introduce Uncle Rachmil actually explaining first. Well, before I introduce Shlomi to say a few words of the Messiah, I just wanted to speak about Bobby for a couple minutes. I was in Eretz Yisrael for Shiva, and I learned a lot about Bobby that I didn't know. I knew a lot about Bobby, of who she is and who she became and what she left behind. But I didn't really know about her in her younger years. And the Zayda story and how she met Zayda, it made a big reishim on me. The reishim was that in those days, back then, to have the musig of going out with a Ben Torah and wanting to marry a Ben Torah wasn't your common everyday occurrence. On top of it, Zayda literally came off the boat. There wasn't any resumes that we have today. There wasn't any phone calls that could have been made to do research about him. But Bobby decided she's going to marry Ben Torah. She's going to marry somebody who's going to become a gadol, someone who's going to become a rav and go into rabbanos. That in itself says a lot about Bobby. It also says a lot about where she came from. She came from a home where Zayda, we all know Elta Zayda, was a tzaddik nifla. But other than being a tzaddik, the midas and the way that he brought up his children was exactly that. And look at all his children, who they married, the problems that came up from them. I had the schus of going to Montreal many years, 5-6 years. Initial year was just to be there to be mechazik Zayda to daven. Landed up turning into davening instead of Zayda, set up. But it continued for 5-6 years after that. And probably one of the most pleasant experiences of my life was every Rosh Hashanah, every Yom Kippur being there, davening together Zayda. And the way it happened was that Bobby came over to me and she said to me, you know the niggun for Vakoyan? I said, yeah. She says, no. So I did Vakoyan him. She says, okay, good. Went back into Eretz Yisrael. This was during Shachris. During the break between Shachris and Musaf, Zayda walked over to me and goes, do you know the niggun for Vakoyan? I said, yeah. He goes, no. And he says, okay, you're davening Musaf. So that was as much preparation as with Musaf, about the same amount of preparation I had to speak, even though Tanshana did give me more time, but I didn't have the time to prepare. But the thing that stood out from the davening, I mean, watching Zayda daven was incredible. He still davened Ne'ilah every single year, Keiches on Keiches. Hearing him was beautiful, but watching him was incredible. But what stood out to me more than watching Zayda daven was watching Bobby watch Zayda daven. She'd sneak out from the Eretz Nashim, she'd look out like a Kala who just got married, and she'd stand there and she'd watch Zayda daven in awe. I mean, she's been seeing this for 50 years, keep in mind. This wasn't he wasn't his first appearance that there was for davening for the Amid, and she stood there with this awe. And I think that the awe that she was looking at was not the way he davened, which was beautiful. But I think she was looking at Zayda, she wasn't looking at the davening. And if you want to talk about Bobby, you talk about an Eshes Chal. You talk about somebody who lived their life, mamish lamitoy, for their husband. Bobby wouldn't let Zayda walk around unless his jacket was perfect, unless Zayda looked B'kovedik. And again, it wasn't for her, it wasn't for Zayda, it was for Kovedat Torah. So if you start understanding what was going through Bobby's mind and her mindset, it was not only the people that you saw around her, but it was the Ikar Shadar, which was the Kovedat Torah. It's something that the last generation had, unfortunately, more than we have and more than we can appreciate, to see through everything for the Amitah. The Amitah was the Kovedat Torah. And that's what she saw, and that's why she helped Zayda, and she did everything to Zayda to become who he was. And she was taken Neza Kenegda. I mean, that's what Bobby was. Simchas HaChaim, we know you stood around Zayda and everyone just smiled. We know about Bobby that she had a Simchas HaChaim by looking at her mishpacha, by watching her kid, watching her Eineklach, watching her Eineklach. I know the cousins can remember that every time Bobby would come to South Africa, she'd come with a duffel bag. It would be quiet, everyone could literally hear the zipper open from that duffel bag. And out came these bags, shmatos or not, but Crazy Eddie came out, and each bag was designed for every grandkid. It wasn't stam, she made 40, 50, 60, whatever Canadian she had, but each package was designed for each child and thought out for each child, and she spent the entire year doing this. That she would come, and the kids would line up, and it was one of the most exciting things as little kids to get the whatever it was from Bobby. But it wasn't what it was the thought and it was the excitement that was created through what Bobby thought through an entire year. Unfortunately, the door has passed. There's very, very few people left from that door. And Baruch Hashem, we're the legacy that they leave behind. And Baruch Hashem, you can see the legacy they left behind. Just to end off very quickly, and I'm trying to set an example for everyone who follows me on the time limit of speaking. I think the best way to speak about Bobby is to let Zayda say it. If you look in Zayda's Hakdama, I actually look through all Svarim, it's kemat the same wording on every single Hakdama. Some he adds a little more, some he says a little less. But I thought this one is the one that brings to the point. We spoke about Bobby, about her Kovra Torah, understanding what it means Torah, understanding what it means to assist the husband, to be a true Eizer Connector, to allow Zayda and allow someone to grow into a true Talmud Chacham, and being able to be Marbitz Torah, and where she stemmed from because of that is why she did this and why she made this all happen. I'm just going to read it instead of saying it and just be Messiah with that. Amru Chazal, Noshim b'mazochim. Chazal say that the woman, what is the schus that they have in this world? And the Gemara goes on to explain that the schus of their husbands going out to learn, the Torah that their husband learned, that's the schus that they have. Skip that part. It said, L'chein, hineni lavia b'zeh birchasi v'hakarasi l'rasi ezrasi ha'mahulula v'amasacheles. With this, the Hainu, with Bobby allowing him and the schus that she should have from the Torah, from the Svarim that he's writing, to bring his bracha and his akara, he recognizes in akara satayv for the help and for the seichel. Bobby was a tremendous balasech. I mean, you'd sometimes call to ask Zayda Shana, and she'd say, no, you ask me, I'll. And half the time didn't get as pastor, and that was it, you got the answer from Bobby. So, as Zayda said, Bobby was very good at that, so it would work. Hamesefetz Boris Miriam Shetichya Bas Harav Hagoyin Rabbi Lazar Samson Shlita Shitali Shatir Chava Hadas the Manuchas HaNefesh Lamanucha Lehisasek Baitzah Sifri L'Arayla. And I think that is Bobby. Zayda got it right once again. Bobby was somebody who was there as a friend, somebody there that was as a bar seichel, and somebody there that was help him to do what he needed to do b'menuchas hanefesh. Someone that came from the yichus of El Zayda, someone that understood what it means and what you're supposed to do to create another Zayda. And with that, he was able to be misasek by Tzai Sifri La'ilam, and that part of that he ends, Taka says in all his svarim, and he put this in every single sefer. It's the last thing he puts in before he puts in all these kids. And the interesting thing about Zayda's kids, which